Okay, so what we're about to do is read Facebook posts about the presidential election and then do our reactions to that. Kind of like that, you know, two gays, one horse, that two girls, one cup thing.
But not quite as gross.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Risa Badass Williams says hashtag Team Obama. Congrats though. I feel good. My president is black. Now you know
Well,
I personally have a
It
problem
says
with
my
this.
president is back, but I think it was a typo and she meant to say black. I feel like she would mean to
Oh.
say, because you know she forgot the GH that goes in though. So and then she put two eyes where I should just be one eye. So I'm not sure if it's
Well, sometimes I mistype, so
yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure if it's a mistype. Maybe she didn't mean.
But I've seen a lot of that, like my president is black.
I think
kind of
that's
thing.
from some of my white Facebook friends.
That kind of bugs me because like he's clearly a mulatto.
Yeah.
And you know, so am
I feel we don't get credit for being mixed.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up. It's
like,
like,
you know, we
we're
can't
the forgotten race.
We're like the middle child. It's like, you know, it's like nobody cares about being mixed. That's like, oh, you're like one
Right.
thing. It's like, and I feel very hurtful because it's like you're accepting one of my cultures and not the other, and it's like that makes one of my parents feel bad.
It's true. It's true. I remember being in school, and they're taking like this really random census, and the teacher, you know, hands out all these forms, and I check off black, and I check off white, and I check off other because I'm really like a mutt. It's really random.
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah.
And I hand my sheet back, and the next thing you know, this guy's standing up at his desk. He comes back over to me, throws the paperwork back in my face, and he's like, "Listen, you have to pick one." And I'm like, "Huh?"
Well, you know,
Have you been to the PTA meetings?
you know, there's this thing. I don't know what somebody my aunt said. I don't know if it's just in California or wherever. She was like, you know, but it was like when your father is white, you're considered white. I was like, well, tell them motherfuckers that when I go into Macy's. Tell them my dad is white, so I'm considered white. So you know,
Tell
you
them
should
that
not
to credit
follow
you.
me. You should not follow me through the stores, and then I have to buy the store out to make you know that bitch don't fuck with me, okay? Because I can afford. But anyways. You know,
Especially at them Chinese stores.
it makes you
Lord
feel
knows.
bad. It's like, yeah, you get one stereotype and not the other. Although being half Italian, I do not want the stereotype of being in the mob. Wink, wink.
Yeah, because it just kind of makes the cops follow you.
Exactly, and it's hard being black and half Italian. Then it's like, damn, you got a double.
Yeah, you're just like
Negative with the
completely
law.
gangster.
Yeah,
There's
just
no getting around it.
You know, not at all. It's
Kinda
like,
sucks.
yeah, all the stereotypes that go with drugs, ordering, embezzlement, all kind of. Anyways, guess we're watching The Godfather after this.
Oh, actually, I put this one up. I was pretty happy about this one. If Obama wins, I'm leaving the country. If Romney wins, I'm leaving the country. This has nothing to do with politics. I just want to travel.
You know, half of that was right. If Romney wins, I was going to leave the country only
Yeah.
because I didn't want to be involved in a nuclear war. You know, for some reason, people of how he just comes off is just bad. And I was, you know, a lot of other countries love Obama and they like him. And I would assume because he is so mellow and just chilled out and he is concise and, you know, intelligent. Whereas Romney comes off as he's almost like a damn dictator. And I would feel other countries would feel pressured into doing stuff for Romney, which will ultimately make them pissed off with doing business with him, and they start some type of war with us. And that's not something we needed.
See, now, personally, I think that Romney's track record with business really just set him apart from any other candidate. I mean, this is the kind of guy that goes into your store, looks through your books, and tells you, listen, you just need to shut down. You know, and for his services, you know, you pretty much pay like half of what your business is worth, and it's really just random.
So then you have to
random
file for
stuff.
bankruptcy as well.
You know, and he's closed. I mean, I get it. There are some businesses that are just putting a strain on the they're putting a strain on the people that are running them because they're just not making enough money and then they're not paying their bills and then everything kind of gets backed up in the long run. But you know, these are the people that need help.
Yeah.
They don't need to be closed in lieu of giant corporations having more space to build another store.
Well, my thing is with that is a lot of our work is going over into Japan, Asia, and foreign countries, and it makes it hard for Americans to get jobs.
Yeah,
so why would you tell an American to close their establishment that is providing jobs for other Americans just so you can build another, company or business franchise in Japan or somewhere else, providing them with jobs, yet you're wondering why the unemployment rate is so high here. I don't understand you. Okay, yeah, let's close your business, fire everybody, so they're unemployed. Then you, as Romney, you were trying to cut, the whole homeless thing and stuff like that. So then they're gonna sign up for food stamps, but then they can't get food stamps because Romney would have been president and he was gonna cut all that shit off.
Right.
So he's like, close your business, make these people unemployed. They won't be able to get food stamps. They'll just die off. They can't eat. They can't protect their families.
This is the population control issue.
Yeah. Did anybody think about that?
How funny is this? 0% chance at Mitt Romney receives any oral sex tonight. In related news, Big Bird can have all the chicks he wants.
Somebody else
from
posted a picture
Dominic
of Big
Stripper
Bird.
and Entertainer. That is too fucking funny.
Somebody else posted a picture and said the real winner tonight is Big Bird. And posted a picture. I was like, what? Well, I'm just saying. Did you see? No. I do not like to bash people, especially in mass media, but I did see a picture of Mitt Romney's wife next to a picture of the bride of Chucky, and I will say there are some similarities.
Just a few, like the cheekbones and the eyes
and the hair,
makeup job
and the lips
and the chin
and the grin.
Really random stuff.
Oh,
what
whoa.
Is that? We are really staring on Facebook at a picture of Michelle Obama, very photoshopped and quite naked from the waist down.
Yes.
Random sauce.
It's vagina all in the face.
Ultimately,
well, at least we know she waxes.
On a different note and yet the same tangent. You know what? I think this is what they wanted from Janet Jackson during that Super Bowl.
They figured since her sister had already been in Playboy, why she just couldn't just let it all out.
Yeah, you know what we should do? We should see if temple garments protect against embarrassment.
Yes, because if Michelle sees that, she gonna be heated. Whoever posted that on Facebook, and I know you did it not, because you said it was effed up, so obviously you didn't, merge the pictures, but, you might be in a little trouble.
That's some random sauce right there.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, let's see. Yes on one. Victory.
Oh, yeah. Maine. It's all good. Equal marriage.
Yeah. That's cool. So, what's popular in Maine? Why would I want to get married there? What's always the boring ass states that approve
Poland spring water.
I don't like Poland spring water. I'm a Fiji person. That, or I drink that volcano water from Paris. What? Poland Spring just tastes, you can taste the dirt inside of it. I don't want to taste dirt.
God.
I can go to the faucet for that.
Really though? Oh, you know what? This whole new S510 bill that I actually wanted you to get in on the information about that. And let me just pull up the video real quick because I don't think you've seen it. So while he's watching the video, you guys are just going to go ahead and get his reaction. And it's like a 5-minute video, so just give us a second.
Bear with us.
Just watch his face. Because basically what it gives is it gives Monsanto the right to control the seed stock in our country. And
oh my god, did you see that post? It said, move overweight, watch you, there's a new way to lose weight. It's called I Can't Afford Groceries.
Yeah, because I just bought gas.
And then I like, earlier it was a picture of Mitt Romney and the Obamas, and it was also a picture of Maury. And it said, Mitt Romney, in the case of the presidential election, you are not the president.
Well, in other news, Mitt Romney just conceded and decided that it was okay to let everybody know that he was cool with being the effing loser. Be that as it may, since he conceded and gave up, Barack Obama's the winner, so I feel that it's okay at this point to tell everybody that I voted for Gary Johnson.
I thought you said you put yourself in.
Well, what I decided was to go out tomorrow and diligently begin a super PAC. Put into motion, the wheels to gain a super PAC and to be able to take in unlimited funds from any entity in order to promote, if not myself as a candidate, somebody. Well, look, the bottom line is I got a cause, and you know.
And what is your slogan again, Max?
We're gonna go with vote for Dark Phoenix. Change you can afford.
Yes, that's change you can put in the bank.
Yeah, change is great, especially when it's actually in your pocket.
I guess you have my vote. You seem to have
That's just what I'm
you
thinking.
have a slogan that I really like, and it's usually the slogans that capture me.
Yeah, that's just what I'm thinking. Change is good in your pocket.
Live. President Obama wins re-election. State Assembly District. Okay, like they're just talking about the districts.
Well, I mean, the other guy
I'm
quit.
liking how the Democrats are winning out.
Yeah, but that's just kind of the thing. The other guy quit.
Who?
So Romney quit.
He quit.
That's what conceded means.
No, I didn't. I wasn't paying attention to that.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, about 5-10 minutes ago.
Why?
He was doing his concession speech because he realized he wasn't going to win, and you have to gracefully bow out when you're at this level.
Oh, okay. I think
the rest of us get to
just
stop.
did all that bull for press.
Yes, you know, the rest of us get to like stomp and wave our arms and shake our heads and say it isn't fair. But guys in his position don't have that luxury. They just have to gracefully bow out and then go have another mayonnaise sandwich. So, they are tampering with our food stocks at the moment, and this bill was passed just this morning. You know, just in case Mitt Romney won, so we wouldn't be able to blame it on him. Please observe.
Well, it's being dubbed Farmageddon, something that the Senate did pass today. It calls it a sweeping overhaul of the nation's food safety system. It basically allows the government to really crack down on tainted food and could, of course, give the FDA much more power in the process. So it sounds like a good idea, right? Well, many folks say this is just going to monopolize our food supply, and that's just the beginning. Well, Shelley Roach of Bite Style TV is talking to us from San Francisco about this bill and the implications that it may have. Good to see you there, Shelley. So,
please visit Bite Style TV. This young lady has quite a bit of amazing information stored up. I do invite you to check out her site.
Well, I'm not happy about it, obviously. I think that the last thing we need is to be giving the FDA increased powers,
That's Bite with a Y.
particularly over our farms and our food supply.
BITESTYLE.TV.
Make that connection, though, with Monsanto. What is it for our audience who doesn't know about that company?
Right. Well, Monsanto is the largest producer of genetically modified seeds and things like Roundup, herbicide, and a lot of the chemicals that you're familiar with. They're responsible for things like bovine growth hormone and all of artificial sweeteners.
Super cow.
So they have the current food safety czar. His name is Michael Taylor, and he is an ex-Monsanto person. And so there is some connection there between the policies that we're seeing the FDA implement and what's in the best interests of some of these monolithic, huge agribusiness corporations.
Is there a counterbalance sort of to Monsanto? Because there have been a lot of critics of these genetically modified foods saying this is what causes food allergies, this is what causes obesity.
Right, absolutely. In fact, there are a number of secret FDA memos that were leaked, I think, last summer. And it was just memo after memo stating scientific research and concern about the unknown effects of introducing genetically modified organisms into our food supply, which was done basically without any research. And you know, you just don't know what happens when you introduce something like this into our food supply, where it goes out and, you know, the wind currents and birds take these seeds and they distribute them into neighboring fields and that sort of thing. So there's really a lot of research hasn't been done about, number one, how these modified foods spread through our food supply, and number two, what effect they have on human health.
And you know, the president of the Farm to Consumer Legal Defense Fund, Pete Kennedy, he said, quote, "This is not about food safety, it's about federal control over the food supply." But if you read most of the articles about this bill, they would have you think the opposite, that it is all about food safety.
Right. You know, it's so sad how these bills are kind of marketed to the American people. You know, who's going to vote against something that's for food safety? But if you really look at it, the FDA's current powers to regulate food were more than enough to put a stop to the problems caused by this recent egg problem. So adding just more regulation and granting more broad sweeping power to the FDA, who's already failing to execute its current powers, is really not going to do anything to improve food safety. It's really just kind of theater to get the American people to support granting massive amounts of power to these organizations.
So, you know, the bill passed, Barack Obama's supporting it. What does it mean, though, for average folks, for consumers, and also for those local farmers that produce some of their own food? How are they going to be affected by this?
Right. Well, part of the problem is that if you look at prior examples, the USDA did the same thing in the meat industry. And what ended up happening was they were overwhelmed with paperwork requirements, fines, basically all of this bureaucratic burden that put most of them out of business. So if you look at the meat processing industry, you now have everything concentrated with a few huge industrial complexes. And that's kind of what's going to happen here, because we're adding now all of this regulation and all of these potential fines and jail time for non-compliance. And our nation's small farmers just, they need to focus on farming. They don't have time to be keeping up with all of these regulations and tracking. And so it's kind of scary for them to be faced with something like this.
And some critics of this are saying this is the end of small farmers. This is going to put local producers out of business. Shelley Roach with BiteStyle.tv. Thanks so much for your time.
It makes it hard for a lot of people in California because we have one of the hugest agricultural states in the United States. Like California, like each individual city is popular and famous for like particular thing. Like Galt is for garlic, and Stockton is for asparagus, and each so on and so forth or whatever. But like they export like to Europe and Asia and other countries as well, which helps us make money. But that's gonna make it really difficult for Californians, especially since it's like it's just like hard for us to like get jobs out there. They pay well when you can get a job, but it's hard to get jobs. And if that puts agriculturalists out of business, that's just gonna be some bad.
Yeah, but ultimately what we're dealing with is a system that is geared towards producing genetically modified food, which is laden at its cellular level with bacteria and things that the human body cannot break down.
Yes, my second point was, not to sound like a pessimist, but that was just, it seems like they're really trying to like destroy us.
Yeah.
In
this
any
is a
possible
population
way.
control effort.
Yes.
That's what this is. They're trying, and anyone who can't afford, which is why organic food is so expensive, if you can't afford it, you're going to end up eating this other stuff, and it's going to make you sick. Now, it's harder to get health care, and you're going to have to spend more money, which means you're going to have to work more hours, and it's going to just cost you more in your body to supply itself with nutrients. You're going to have to work harder just to get what your body needs to survive. And this is the way this system is geared, to be dependent on them. At some point in time, I saw this coming. I told you, man. I saw this coming. When the gas shortage in the tri-state area came, the first thing I said was, you know what? You control the gas, you control the food supply. How do they get it here?
And one thing we were discussing earlier was that we've been in war for for about 11 years since
12. This
almost
thing
a-
has been
almost 12
since
years?
2001. It's
Yes,
almost 2013.
yeah. For about 12 years, and we got into what happened was the people who were flying the planes were apparently from Pakistan. Yeah, we went to war with Iraq because Iraq had what we needed, which was oil, etc., so we could have gas and stuff like that. And gas prices rose. And my only thing I was asking her earlier, I was like, isn't it funny how we can go to war with another country who did not do us any harm for gas? And, through this whole time we're saying, we're liberators and we're fighting for this and that or whatever like that. When really we're trying to get gas, the prices of gas can go up, but we were never out of it. And a little wind, some rain, some outages, and now the thing we've been fighting for 12 years for, in just one day, a couple hours actually, of a little storm, and to me it was not. I don't think that could have been possible any other place in the world, anywhere. I think what it really was the government saying, you know what, we need to find a moment, a time to where we can take people down a peg, and this is one of the things. Being in English, I went to Pace University, and I remember in my English class, my professor was talking about how, a lot of the political leaders from, the 70s or whatever like that, or like the ones who are still alive but, aren't too relevant today, I would say, they are,
they're relevant.
Yeah.
They remind us of what we should be doing.
Yeah, well, no, it was a lot of them, and some of the people, a few of the candidates from the last term who was running or whatever. I think Al Gore was in one of them. I don't want to put his name out there just yet because I did not read the book, but he mentioned some names or whatever, and basically they all was talking about a book. They all basically worked on a book or whatever like that about America and how we are to advance into the future. And somebody mentioned in the book that we're overpopulated or whatever like that. The world is becoming overpopulated, and it was like, well, for us to break down on this, and this is our leaders from the United States, because this is other country, people, politicians as well, agreeing. It was like, we need a nuclear war. Mm-hmm. That's the only way to cut down in order to have enough food to provide for people, in order to have enough, health care. Not health care, but I guess if you need penicillin, you need enough. Okay, if you got one shot, you can't have 5 people.
AIDS didn't kill off enough people fast enough for them to have been satisfied. So they tried bird flu, swine flu. Anthrax came back 3 times in the last 10 or 12 years as an epidemic, and now I'm hearing reports of the Black Plague, across the country.
So
4 or 5 cases now of people contracting the Black Plague. Now you're telling me that I've got rats. We just had a hurricane. I live in New York. We have rats. Everybody knows we have rats. Now you go down into the sewer systems and you say to yourself, well, where are all the rats? They didn't all get out. So now you have this smell that you can't quite identify. I can identify it just fine. It's dead rats. Now, you're down there in this sewer system, basically, with these decomposing, decaying rodent bodies who have been feeding on garbage their entire lives, and we're all not supposed to get sick. You got people now getting sick in the shelters that they set up, in these schools, because you're bunking homeless people who have been homeless and living in the streets for 9-10 years with families who are just recently homeless because of the storm, and everybody's breathing on each other and coughing on each other and sneezing, and now you're getting reports of stomach flus in these shelters. Now what they're going to do, they're going to clear out the shelters. They're not going to bleach down these schools. They're going to let the students come in. Pandemic is on the way. Bottom line is, stock up on your bleach. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, what's also funny is that how during Hurricane Katrina they had to evacuate a whole state and people were coming from New Orleans all the way to
listen,
to
I was
California.
in Michigan. I was in Michigan. We were housing people.
Yeah,
I remember.
and I'm saying, okay, if that kind of hurricane can do all that damage, and we had basically just power outages and a little flooding. Well, we're surrounded by water, of course.
We had that here in the areas that are coastal. That's it. It's like as if a big wind knocked over the umbrella on the yard set furniture in your backyard. It's destroyed.
It was like the trees that was like, falling on houses and stuff like that. But in New Orleans, it was like just houses getting blown.
Out here, that's what it was. In the Rockaways and Coney Island, parts of Canarsie.
It was a lot of damage, but my point is, it wasn't as bad. I feel it wasn't as bad.
You gotta go out there.
And
you gotta go out. Honestly, you gotta go out.
I mean,
there.
I've been looking at the news and I've been seeing the videos and stuff.
The
I'm like,
videos
okay,
don't tell you nothing.
It's holding together a lot more than the videos from Hurricane Katrina, because they were flooded to where the bodies in the ground were like floating up out of the graves. It's because you know how it's below sea level,
right?
And I'm like, it was just really, really bad. And I'm just like, okay. Why the hell? That would have been the perfect opportunity to, cut through our ass. But nah, they waited to 2012. They had to wait till the whole Mayan thing was coming up. So they planned this, okay?
Well, they need an excuse.
They planned this. I was like, this was all a setup.
They need an excuse.
I'm like, I don't know what it will take for Americans to believe that your country is not for you anymore. It probably never has been, not since they first started the Constitution. When you had Benjamin Franklin help writing that shit.
It's been for them since then.
No.
Bottom line.
No,
it's like the Matrix. We're the workhorses. We're the batteries. We're the thing that keeps it running. But beyond that, we have no use.
No power whatsoever. Voting even I'm like, to be honest, like
I didn't vote for Barack Obama.
Yeah, and like I went out to vote.
Look at him standing there.
Like I went out to vote because I hope one day that it actually does make a difference. But today I can say we are like a private dictatorship. And this country is ran by other people. It was like, it wasn't, I mean, like, we didn't
outsourced dictatorship.
It's like, it's like, we didn't really decide to go to war, but we got there, and then it's been 12 years later, everybody been saying, okay, why are we still in here? Why are we doing, what are we doing? We're still there. I'm like, but we run the country. But yet, if I say, why the fuck are you still spending my tax dollars to be in this country? We don't have no reason to be in this country, and you're still in this country, obviously you're not listening to me. You're not listening to me, the person who's supposed to actually be running the country. Because each individual, each one of us is supposed to have a say. And I feel if most of our population in the United States is saying, why are we still in this country, or why are we still at war, and we're still there, then obviously we're not running shit. Because the reason why we're asking these questions is because we're still paying all this money for gas. We still have problems in our own country.
I can fix that all for you. No taxation without representation. That's fine. But what they basically said from that day was that if you got money, hey, we'll listen to what you got to say and we'll make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So now that corporations are people, my thing is, if corporations are people, where's my bailout money? I'm a corporation.
Well, I just, honestly, and I can't help this feeling that I have, but I just feel like we are doomed. I really did not believe in that whole Mayan shit, because my thing was, back then was, if they couldn't predict their own extinction, how the hell they gonna predict ours?
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying the whole time when people were talking about it.
When my calendar runs out, I just go buy a new one.
I don't think it has anything to do with the Mayans, but I really just feel like our country is coming to the point where our government is coming to the point where they're saying is, our country need to get rid of people. Like, even in, like, Essence Magazine, they did an article about doctors here injecting African-American babies with the HIV/AIDS virus or whatever like that to do testing to find cures or whatever like that. But nonetheless, they were injecting these babies with that. Babies, because, I guess they were saying, well, at least we'll cut down on the whole,
Right, 7-10 years they'll be dead, and
who cares if they don't have parents, if their families left them, or their mom died in a hospital, and etc. and stuff like this. You wonder where some of these homeless kids are going in the United States? That's where they're going. You wonder why you don't see any commercials on TV talking about the kids here that's homeless in the United States? Because they're getting injected with AIDS and they're just dying off. Whereas we can give our money to other countries to pay for their kids' education in schools and stuff like that, and Angelina Jolie can adopt like 10 African babies or whatever like that, and that is fine with her. And that Cambodian one, he's kind of cute, But, like, still, the point is, I forget his little name, I think it's named after clothes or something like that. But anyways, my point is, well, I try to be lighthearted. I don't want to come off as too pessimistic.
Man, this is serious.
It
has begun.
It is serious, and I would like the public to think about
all
these
that
issues.
Stuff from Behold a Pale Horse and Beyond the Velvet Curtain and everything you heard is going on. This is the beginning. How are you going to tell me that a little wind and a little rain is going to cause a gas shortage? in the tri-state area. You gotta understand something. We're in New York. If New York City isn't doing business, the world is shut down. Do you have any idea why Bloomberg tried so hard to get Wall Street open so quickly? Because he knows the rest of the world stays home from work if New York City is not running.
But you know what? I feel like if you want to get the real information, the real scoop on what's going on in the U.S., you should look at the newspapers going on in foreign countries. Like, I learned that after I watched this video discussing 9/11, and there was countries there was Italy, because Italy, France, and England were all, hacking into, Pakistan, Istanbul, all those little countries, systems or whatever like that, because they expected something. They've all been getting threats and shit like that. So when they was coming up in their research, they hit up the president, was like, hey, yo, we just got some information in our system. Italy did. It was like, we got information saying that, you guys were going to be attacked or whatever. Then London hit up the president and said the same thing. They got the same information. Then Paris, and so on and so forth. And the president was like, oh, no, we're good. Then they got they got the whole document sealed, everything like that, had on his desk or whatever like that, and to flip through it. And Condoleezza Rice said, Condoleezza Rice tried to bullshit her ass. I'm glad that bitch just disappeared. She was a bad representation for all African American people.
She's swinging around a pole right now somewhere.
Probably.
With a really bad weave.
Oh my god. Condoleezza.
You see the weave in your head, don't you? Open my eyes.
I'm looking at her teeth.
Open my eyes so I don't see the weave.
Okay, open. Wake up. Anyway, my point is, all these other countries had information about this months before it happened. Yet our president did nothing. Oh, and here's another thing. Okay, so the president's in Florida or whatever like that, and he had, they said, because they told him, it might be coming by aircraft and shit like that. So the president had made sure there was guards on top of the roof of his hotel, and people in the Air Force, flying back and forth to make sure nothing happened to his hotel. And then somebody was like pointing out, no, that's pretty funny because no president in the history of America has ever done that. Needed to have people on top of the roof of their hotel. Of course, you got security by your door and shit like that, and throughout the hotel, but no one has ever had planes flying over their hotel thinking they were going to be attacked. But our president did, who said he had no information whatsoever that we were going to be attacked.
On another note, I don't believe any president has ever been turned away from a disaster area. And Michael Bloomberg thought it would behoove him to tell Obama that after he visited New Jersey, which even I believe got hit harder than we did, that it just wasn't a good idea for him to come here and survey the damage. What the fuck were you thinking, Mikey? That's the guy that signs the checks!
You're the guy who just runs around like a little squirrel.
Are you fucking kidding me? Sorry.
You do have a point there, though. And another thing was how, there was some politician who was actually supposed to be boarding the flight that got hijacked, but apparently on the day of his flight, they told him not to get on the plane, and he rescheduled. So
convenient.
That's very convenient. Very convenient. Yes, and and then there was this
premonition type convenience.
Yes, there was this funny thing where people were playing, people calling their families or whatever like that, saying, oh my God, somebody hijacked the plane, we're going down and shit. And I was like, oh my God, what phone plan do you have? You can get a reception up there, a signal.
Yeah.
You're not even supposed to use your phone on a flight. It's not even supposed to be on.
Sprint, and that's federally run, and I can't get a signal.
If I turn off my phone, it makes this loud ass noise saying it's turned off, because they tell you to turn that off before you get on the flight. So I'm like, okay, somebody's hijacking. I gotta turn it back on. You turn it back on, it makes the noise. So if anybody was holding your ass up, they gonna go straight to the noise first thing, ixnay you, think you gonna try to call somebody. But then you can't, bitch, I can't get reception in some parts of New York. I can't even get a reception in this damn apartment. But you can get a reception 3,000 miles up in the air or whatever like that, where no damn towers and nothing is giving. Please, even Verizon ain't that damn good. And I paid a lot for their ass, okay? I have Verizon. So I can vouch for that flying from California to New York. I'm just going to say this. Metro, Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint, none of the motherfuckers. Nextel, whatever. You ain't getting, but people was playing messages to their family or whatever, but they didn't sound as frightened as you think somebody would be if they thought their plane was going down. It was just like, oh, hey, mom, somebody hijacked the plane with a butter knife, we're going down, or whatever. I'm from the hood. I'm going to let you know that right now. I am from the hood. My mama used knives to whoop our ass. So if anybody was to come at me with a damn, what was that, a pocket knife or some shit like that they had? A pocket knife. Nigga, my twin brother stole a pocket knife in kindergarten and got kicked out of class. At 5 years, you 5, 6 years old. Oh yeah, so I'm afraid of a grown nigga with a damn pocket knife. Bitch, please, I'm from the hood.
I'm
pretty sure.
About 50 motherfuckers afraid of a grown nigga with a
exactly.
pocket knife.
The first thing I would have did was attack him. I'm like,
first
nigga,
class should have just juked him real quick with a sport.
Please, I would have just said, you know what, you really need to sit down because you're annoying me. Okay, this little badass kid behind me is kicking my seat.
I can't see the movie through you.
Exactly. I would have paid him no fucking damn attention. I would be like, you need to sit down before I rape your ass because you know I like them Arabs. Because I would have been like, I'm going to show you something they don't do in your country. At least not out in public. Okay? All I'm just saying. But
back to today.
Back to today.
Hi, Obama is president again.
And that is a very good thing. I mean, I know he's mostly just a celebrity and stuff like the Queen of England. But like the Queen of England, but it's a start, because gay marriage is getting out there. And, once we get a gay president, I think everything will come into perspective. Because they're pretty much,
Can we have a black woman president first? Can we just ease them into the gay
I kind of feel like I want, Rosie Perez to be president. Could you imagine every time she addresses the country? Like, hey, Mookie! Like, okay, I want to address the United States of America, my fellow Americans. And I love Rosie Perez. But, I feel we need a woman president. We do. But she has to be ethnic as well, though. Because a white woman just wouldn't do it. Because, no offense, but Hillary, you got embarrassed in front of the whole damn world. And you couldn't even get a Bentley, bitch. I'm sorry.
If we elected a white woman president, the national debt is what it is now. Can you imagine what it would be after she went shopping? Outrageous.
All I'm just,
not welcome.
Because she gonna redo the whole damn Oval Office. Floral patterns and curtains and shit.
And her whole wardrobe will match.
Chanel, now Dior.
Can you
Gucci,
imagine
Burberry, Yves Saint Laurent.
Prime Minister?
She gonna be thinking she gotta compete with the Queen of England. Like, bitch, I can be iced out too. Call Tiffany's and tell them to put me on standby.
Oh, I couldn't deal. I'd move to Canada if we had a white woman president.
How is the government in Canada? What is that about? Like, what kind of system do they have there? Are they still owned by
universal health care? Pay your rent, they leave you alone.
Oh, cool. I hear in some parts of Canada it's so nice you don't even have to lock your doors.
It's just really snowy, and then there's those mounties, but they're usually pretty sexy.
I know, but you know what? It'll help me
I want to find a Dudley Do, right?
But Canada's really great is because, that's where they shoot. A lot of stuff you think is shot in LA, like a lot of TV shows is actually shot in Canada. Like, even Noah's Ark, the TV show.
Cobble
I don't
Hill.
even see how they afford that. So,
they either go to Canada or Cobble Hill.
Oh, look at all the family. Them little girls is growing up. I cannot wait for them to be grown and stuff all out in the club. Like, yeah.
They put everybody in taffeta?
Because young Barbara Bush, the daughter, the younger one, she used to always come to my old job or whatever like that. And she was so nice. No security or nothing.
But taffeta? I get it. It's warm. Why does Michelle Obama look fat? It's that taffeta.
She is huge. Yeah, she is looking a little wide. She
it's
like
taffeta. Look wide. Right. It's That's what taffeta
look at those little girls. Like their inseam is like they're like sucked in, but the outside is like they got hips for days.
Ooh, you think Michelle is pregnant?
I hope not. Although she would be like the first person to get pregnant in office that I've ever heard of. I'm not sure.
Google that. Would Michelle Obama be the first woman to give birth in the Oval Office?
Yes. I have, because some other presidents, they can't even get their wives pregnant. So.
She looks a little wide around the belly.
Like her hips are spreading.
Yeah, touch.
And her hair did grow, pretty much. Because I be checking her and she don't be wearing weaves like that. I've seen her with some pieces. But I'm checking her and when you're pregnant, your hair do grow in. Hips start to spread out a little bit.
That was a very wide band on that dress. She looks great, don't get me wrong, but very wide band.
Her hair looks great, though. I'm saying she might be. But if that's the case, that's good because, if I was Michelle Obama, I would be
January.
Yes, but I'll be giving Obama the business all the time just to make sure no Monica Lewinsky's coming. Did you know Monica Lewinsky and RuPaul are like best of friends?
No, but
I was hearing this radio interview. He was like, "Yeah, Monica Lewinsky told me to do the because RuPaul did a picture as Barack and as Michelle or whatever. So and it's really gorgeous too or whatever like that.
This I have
And
to
it was
say.
like, where'd you get the idea from? Because it's
Where
like
is
doing
it?
commercials on logo. And he was like, well, I was having brunch with Monica Lewinsky, and it was like, we do that like once a week or every so often or whatever like that. We're like really good friends. And she said, hey, why don't you do that? I'm like, yeah, this bitch is telling you to do something involving the White House. I mean, she'd have been up and through the White House. I'm sorry, but it's great to see right there. It's great to know that. That's all the pictures they did. But it's great to know Monica Lewinsky is like alive because I thought somebody said she was dead. But I'm glad she's alive and relevant.
Random.
But I'm sorry, but RuPaul is way better than Michelle right there. Great bone structure. It's cute. And you see how the hair looks all real too? Like just they found black people hair and put it like haircut everything.
Random.
Looks better as Michelle than it does as Brock.
That's a little bit creepy.
Yes. Because I guess some other celebrity did that, so he thought to do it.
I mean, I can
they
tell
started
they
running a commercial.
photoshopped the nose and a couple of things, but that's a little bit creepy.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to post this.
Oh yeah. Oh, tag me in that one.
We're gonna go ahead and post that because that's just too creepy. Okay, and then next go around we're buying a Mac. Yeah. But wow.
So basically, to review, we were discussing how we have problems with gas, which inevitably makes us have problems with getting food, and then you have other government agencies coming up with corporations that are poisoning our agriculture, or whatever like that. I said it again.
Listen, they're trying to kill us off
I was getting there. Could you let me round up the facts?
Man, look, listen. The people need to know what the fuck the deal is, and the bottom line is they're trying to kill us off.
So get you
stock up on your canned goods. Stock up on your water. Man, do the redneck thing. Find yourself a redneck and make a friend on Facebook or Twitter or Tagged or whatever planet or whatever you linking in. Find a redneck and make a friend because they'll tell you how to hoard the proper items to save your life. And right about now, that's what you need to know. Go ahead, go to the bookstore, get you the Guide to Survival. What is the Anarchist Guide to Survival? Oh man, there's a series of books about surviving. They little like this. You can put them in your pocket. Go get them. They like $8 a piece. It's worth it if you end up out in the wilderness or some nonsense, because all this nonsense take you out of the city and kick you out of your house. Talk about executive order. If there's this flood and this next nor'easter coming, if they
should we go outside and check to see if there's enough?
I don't want to know. If they tell you have to evacuate, you have to evacuate or you're going to jail. Now, what kind of shit is that for homeowners who have paid for their house, pay property taxes, pay school tax, water bill, this, that, and the third? It's ridiculous. If I want to sit in my house and get flooded and die, then that's what I should have the right to do. This is America. Get off my porch.
Shit,
I'm done with it.
$1.2 million.
I'm done with it. I'm right. This is what I'm saying. We pay money to own things, and then we pay money to these people to stay off our back, and they don't do it. What the hell are we paying for? No taxation without representation. I'm sick of it. Stop paying your taxes. This time, April 15th, man, if one person fucking files, I'm gonna be pissed. 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 Don't give them shit. Don't let them know nothing. Put everything you got into cash and stick that shit in a jar on a shelf. I'm over it. Don't let the banks know. Don't let the companies know. No direct deposit. I'm done. I'm done. They're done with my information. And you know what? If I had to be, if I could be off the grid, I would right now. If I didn't think that I needed to really like sit on these videos and go on Facebook and try to shake people awake and turn them upside down and shake out their pockets and show them what they really are doing with their life, I would be off the grid. I'd be in a fucking cave somewhere eating berries, fashioning shanks out of twigs.
Obama should get a little Botox.
Punji sticks and shit. I'm so serious. Yeah, he could use some just for men.
Yeah.
But you know, after these elections, they're tired.
Yeah, because he's like the last couple of months, he's just been looking a little old.
I'm just so tired of making all this money.
He looks a little thinner. I think doesn't he get paid less than any other president's been making?
No, listen. When I was little, I was taught The last thing I heard was the president makes $200,000 a year. This guy makes $400,000 a year.
Yeah, but the president before that made $500,000 a year.
I don't. The president before, listen.
And then so did Clinton.
And Mitt Romney would have made more than that too because he's worth such and such. And listen, the fact of the matter is, as president, you get a free house, a free car, a free plane, a free helicopter,
and security for a lifetime.
You can't tell me you pay for your food. What do I need per year for food for 5 people? What are you, nuts? And a couple of state dinners because, yeah, we want to go and we want to impress the dignitaries. We want to have people over. We want to make everything nice. Beyond that, seriously? $400,000 a year? I'll smack this guy.
Well, he could have said that to you running his campaign.
$400,000 a year. Wear those suits?
Oh, no, by my second term, though, I would have paid for that by myself, though. But, yeah, he could use the ring.
For my second term,
Botox.
For my second term, I at least would have taken a pay cut. Like, hey, guess what, American
public? His suit
public?
is not even freaking tailored. Look at them pants, all hanging off of him.
So,
bones.
To wear those suits, $400,000 a year? I don't think so. Maybe somebody else thinks so. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's this guy, that guy, the other guy, this chick. To wear those suits, $400,000 a year? Fuck off. Sorry. Everybody who's happy, be happy. Everybody who's upset, be upset and live with it.
I think Obama needs a makeover.
The bottom line is we all got to do the right thing.
And you got Spike Lee joint?
All I have heard about in the last 6 hours is President Obama and Mitt Romney, and I don't know anything about the relief effort for the hurricane. And the fact that these people don't have enough freaking plywood to board up what's left of their windows for the storm that's coming in 2 hours. Holler at me about that. Talk to me about the election tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Anything to add?
Like that woman said on Atlantis. Yeah, I know it's a cartoon movie, but what she said with her cigarette. We're all gonna die. And then she took a smoke of her cigarette. I think those are very appropriate words for this time.
I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna become a Rastafarian and quit believing in death and live forever. You do what you want.
I see you in hell.
You see me smoking weed on Mount Zion, nigga, you crazy. I'll be up there with Bob Marley, chilling. I see you with Bob Marley, chilling.